Okay, as a real estate agent and an investor, I want to see those that can and are able and willing. I want to see them own real estate and level up. Okay, so right now I am going to talk about the fees that are associated with renting. Guys, you would not believe some of these places what they are charging people. So every day my inbox is full with people complaining and crying about all the fees that are being charged to be a renter. Do I think that they're fair? No. But it can be a push to get you moving, okay, into possibly becoming a homeowner, okay? Plenty of people become homeowners for different reasons. If you decide to own property and you want to do house hacking, you could rent out rooms, or you could buy a next gen home, and possibly, which is like a mini apartment, and rent that out, and that could cover your mortgage. Okay, so there's so many incentives and perks to buying. If it comes to where you don't want to stay there any longer, you can cash flow it, and that entire thing could be your income. Okay, so there's lots of flexibility, and you can keep it for your family. There's plenty of times when family, could potentially be in hard times, and you want to be able to help them out. If you have that type of family relationship. Okay, so I want to talk about some of these fees even before you move in. Okay, let's start with those. Okay, those pesky fees when you're renting. So you're going to see me looking down. So I made a list. Okay, obviously the application fee. Some other places charge a credit check fee, a background check fee, an income verification fee. Believe it or not, it seems like they could push a button or make one phone call and these get their answers, but because they're using man hours, a lot of times they charge for that. Don't know what the future is going to look like with AI, but a lot of places are charging that right now. Okay. Security deposits. Okay. Now, if you're a person that's not fully qualified, sometimes they will still approve you, but with a higher deposit. Okay, so sometimes you're going to be charged that maximum deposit if you don't meet, say, for instance, certain credit score or certain income to get in. They're going to charge you more of a deposit. A key deposit, okay, for your key. A garage remote or fob deposit. So if you have a key fob to get into the property to use the amenities and whatnot, they charge for that, and you do have to return that because otherwise there's going to be a fee to cover that when you leave if you don't turn it in. Move-in fees, okay, whatever that is, okay, cleaning fees, rekey fees, lease setup, documentation, document preparation fee, okay, for them to prepare all the lease docs, whether they're going to email them to you or print them out. Some places are charging a fee to do that. Pet fees and pet deposits, okay? I've seen it to where you have a pet, you have a non-refundable pet deposit because they know they're going to have to prep the place and refresh the place for the next renter. So that's why your non-refundable pet deposit comes in. And then obviously your monthly pet rent, because guess what? Your pet's taking up space. They want to charge your pet rent. I know, right? Like your pet's paying bills. Like what the heck, Okay. What is that all about? A pet screening fee. I have seen places charge a pet screening fee done by a third party because guess what? They check your pet out, want to make sure your pet's got all of their shots and all that. And then they also, I've seen some places do a DNA on your pet. The reason why they do that is because if your pet has any accidents where you're not cleaning up behind your pet, they can trace it back to you and say, oh, this was your Chihuahua, Joe Smith, in whatever apartment number 15A, because this, we took it to the lab and it tested back to your pet. So yes, they will test your pet's poop. So there's a fee for that, okay? And then your amenity fees, you're going to have parking fees. Is it fair for them to charge parking? No. Should parking come with it? Yes, they charge. Some places do. and even to have covered parking. All right. So if you want a covered spot where you're not getting hit with the elements, the rain or whatnot, snow, if you're, living in a cold place, they're going to charge you for that. Okay. I've seen people pay for garage fee. If you want a garage, it's going to cost you to have your car and possibly your items to use that garage space, okay? And then I've also seen it to where the garage could only be used for a car. If you had like boxes or storage bins and whatnot, that could be put in the storage, which that was another fee. So you're renting out a garage for your car and the storage for your stuff, okay? All right. Bike storage fee. If you have a bike, sometimes they have a certain place that your bike can be kept, okay? That could be a fee. Locker rental fee. If they have lockers and you want to keep things locked up, or say they have a gym, you want to have a locker there, that could be a fee, okay? I've seen it, guys, okay? A pool access fee. Gym, fitness center fee, clubhouse, rooftop access fee, business center fee. Some places have a free business center. Some will charge you to get in there to utilize their printer, copier, scanner, computers, and whatnot. Okay. Package locker fee. So say if you're going to get Amazon packages and things delivered, they can often charge and will charge you for having that fee. HOA registration. Don't think because you're renting, you won't be charged the HOA. If your home or your apartment is in an HOA community, they often the property owners will still pass that fee off to you as the renter. Yes, I know, right? Utility fees. Okay, let's go there. You're going to have your setup fees, all right? Your sub-metering fees. So if they got to read the meter, trash service, pest control fee, landscaping, grounds fee, sewer, water. Now, I have seen it with the water bill. The sewer usually is a steady constant, but the water, I've seen it done two ways. So for the people that I've worked with that are renting, they will break it down to have, like, say if it's a building, they'll break it down to the usage of how many people in that building and divide it up, and everybody's got to cover their portion of it. I've also seen them do it by how many people are in each home, and they divide it that way. But yeah, I rarely see it to where it's a fixed rate for the water bill. Okay. Internet cable package. Some places will force you to get this package. You don't have a choice because the property owners have a contract with these places and everybody has to get this bundle, Smart tech thermostats. All right. Sometimes, guess what? You don't have a choice there. They're going to charge you the smart tech fee so you can be able to monitor the AC from your phone, the gate from your phone, all of the things on this app, okay? Valet trash, okay? So for them to come around and pick your trash up on, Mondays and Wednesday, Fridays from 6 to 8 and whatnot, guess what? They're charging you for that. So these are forced fees that you will have to pay. You won't have a choice sometimes. There's no opting out for some of these, all right? And penalties, all right? Let's talk about it. If you're late on your rent, sometimes I've seen the places charge, $10, $20 a day, and then it goes up from there. And then even after the fifth day, sometimes they will start the eviction process. So unfair, right? But as you might know, as a homeowner, you're likely going to have a grace period with your mortgage. So say 15 days is our normal grace, but it's not reported to the credit bureau until 30 days. So technically, if you're pushing it 1 month, you can push it out. I don't recommend this, or you can get on the phone with your bank and then let them know, hey, are you able to push this payment out to the last to the end of the loan and, maybe skip a payment, because if you've paid on time and whatnot, haven't had any issues, they'll likely work with you, that instance. Okay. Let's see. Returned NSF fees. So say if they try to pull the money from your bank, it's not there. Those fees can really be aggressive when you're renting. Like usually when you're renting from a big, large company, big management company, they're not forgiving, okay? You're going to already be charged likely a fee with your bank unless you get on the phone with them and so let them know the story. Hey, I really overdraw my account. I had a situation. Are you able to put those fees back on? But with the property management, they may not be as understanding, okay? Let's see, a 3-day notice fee. So usually when you're late, they can charge you that fee, okay? And if you don't pay it, it just multiplies and it can lead to an eviction. Noise complaint, all right? I've seen them charge a noise complaint fee. After getting so many complaints, boom, you get hit with a noise complaint fee. So unfair, right? Another fee I've also seen is, let's see, not just the noise, but just complaints in general, okay? So not always the noise, but just complaints in general. So say if your child or doesn't get along with the neighbors and whatnot or whatever, so just they often make up fees, just saying that, I don't know what they're saying, difficult tenant and whatnot. So they'll likely put a fee on. And also I wanted to say patio violations, window violations. So if somebody rides by and sees that you have something in your window or something that's not deemed appropriate, like you're supposed to have holiday things down by a certain date. So say you have Christmas decorations in the window and here we are in April, whatnot. So you have like visibly, noticeably decorations. They can charge a fee for that. They can charge a fee for dead plants around your front door or around the back or hanging, in the window, hanging down. I've seen it before, okay? And these are fees that can be charged whether you're renting or buying with those, but sometimes they can be very aggressive when you're renting because, yeah, I've just seen it, okay? Because there's more eyes on you for one. There's more eyes. There are lots of people walking around. Maintenance is walking around. You have your neighbors walking around. You don't know who likes you, who doesn't like you, all of those things, okay? Let's see. God forbid you smoke in a non-smoking community. They can charge and possibly evict you over being seen or smell of smoking, okay? And that's anything, smoking anything. I have helped people that have stayed at communities that were in non-smoking communities. So I'm talking smoking nothing could be smoked on the grounds, okay? If you lose your fobs, all of those fees can be charged. Your lost parking permit, lockout fee, locksmith, mailbox key replacement fee. Once you move out, they can charge you excessive trash removal fee. So say you leave a lot of crap behind, they can actually charge you for that. Flea treatment if you had pets, furniture removal if you had to leave items behind, appliance and replacement fee, okay? So, or cleaning fee. So say if the appliances were damaged, they had to be replaced. But that's why I always say, if you have any issues, let them know. Let your property owners know ahead of time. Don't wait until you leave to start addressing your concerns, okay? Let's see, concierge fee, laundry usage fee, amenity reservation fee. If you have a clubhouse there, sometimes they can charge you a deposit for that. All right. If you decide, guess what? My lease is up. I don't want to sign another lease. I possibly will be taking a new job somewhere and I want to go month to month. Guess what? I've seen them charge a couple $100s just to go from month to month. They want you locked into that lease, guys. Okay, keep that in mind. And then air filter subscription fee. Yes, they want to make sure the filters are clean, the HVAC system is running well. Renter liability insurance enforcement fees. So even though I've seen it where if you have your own insurance, they will make you accept their insurance. I don't know why, but I've seen that. Okay. And then to have their billing their third-party billing service do all the billing. Okay. That's a normal couple bucks. I've seen that all the time. Okay. So I cannot stress enough. Why not try to get pre-approved for a home? Why not see what the possibilities are for you if 2026 finds you and you happen to find this video? Why not give me a call if you are in Arizona or you're planning your relocation to Arizona? I would more than love to be your agent, to work with you and to hold your hand. We're going to look at homes together. I know you're going to find one that is a good fit for you. Let's get you pre-approved today. I'm Pamela Scott with My Home Group. You can call or text 480-251-3174. I am your AZ Relo plug. Be blessed.